So this video we are going to talk about adding and subtracting radicals, which is just another name for square roots. So we're going to work on adding and subtracting square roots. So before we start, I want you to just think about everything that you've learned so far in math. Whenever we talk about adding and subtracting, there's always a condition. So what I mean is when you add and subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator. When you add and subtract with decimals, you have to line up the decimals. So it would only make sense if we were adding and subtracting square roots that we would need to have the same square root. So you can only add or subtract like square roots. So you have to have common denominator when you add and subtract fractions. You have to have common decimals when you add and subtract decimals. You have to have common square roots, common radicals when you add and subtract radicals. So it goes along with what we've always done with adding and subtracting in math. All right, so here we go. So let's try one. So for example 1, let's say we have 3 square root of 5 plus 7 square root of 5. All right, so what we want to do is take a look at what we're trying to add together. So here we have 3 square roots of 5, and we're trying to add it with 7 square roots of 5. So what you want to notice is that the radical is the same. So we have like square roots. So if we take together 3 square roots of 5 and add 7 square roots of 5, we will have 10 square roots of 5. And that is your answer. So it's pretty straightforward. All right, let's try another one. Let's say for example 2, all right, let's say we have 6 root 2 minus 9 root 2. All right, so again, what we want to do is we want to look at our radicals. This one is the square root of 2, and this one is the square root of 2, and those are like square roots. So we have common radicals. So if we had 6 square roots of 2 and we want to subtract 9 square roots of 2, that would leave us with -3 square roots of 2. And that's our answer. All right, so you might be thinking, well, what if they're not the same? All right, so here is example 3. Let's see, how about 2 square root of 7 plus 5 square root of 3 minus 7 square root of 7. All right, so when we look at this one, we notice that we have common square roots here and here, but not there. So what that means is that we can combine these square roots together, but we can't combine those with this one. So if we have 2 square roots of 7 and we're going to subtract 7 square roots of 7, that's going to give us -5 square roots of 7. And then that is still needs to be added to 5 square root of 3, except that we can't actually add them together. So that is going to be our answer. Now, order's not important. If you had 5 square root of 3 minus 5 square root of 7, that's totally fine. Not a big deal. So again, you have to have like square roots. If you don't have like square roots, you can't add them together. All right, so you're probably thinking this is pretty easy. There's got to be more to it, and there is. So here we go. Next question. So here is example 4. All right, let's say we had square root of 27. Let's add 5 square root of 12. All right, so you look at this and you say, okay, well, these are not like square roots, so I can't do anything, so that is the answer. But in fact, we can reduce these square roots because I know I can break down 27 and I know I can break down 12. So what we need to do is simplify each of these separately, and then chances are pretty good we'll be able to add together the simplified answers. All right, so here we go. So we're basically going to split this into two problems. We're going to do one at a time. So I am going to take a little sticky note here and cover this side up for just a second. All right, so we're just going to work with the square root of 27. So I know that the square root of 27 would be 9 times 3. That would be 3 and 3. I can take a pair of 3's out. So the square root of 27 is going to be the same as 3 root 3. All right, now keep in mind, in these videos, if you need to pause it, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it, catch up, and then start playing again. Okay, now we'll go to this side. All right, so 12, I know I can break that down to be 4 and 3, and then I know 4 is going to be a pair of 2's. So if I simplify this one, let's see, where do I need to write it? Right here. So this one is going to take out a 2. There's already 5. So this is going to become 10 root 3. All right. And now I'm just going to bring this down, adding them together. So now I have like square roots. So 3 square roots of 3 plus 10 square roots of 3 is going to equal 13 square roots of 3. And there you have it. All right, so not too bad. All right, next one. The only thing we're going to do is we'll just add we'll combine 3 radicals together. All right, so example 5. Let's try square root of 54 plus 3 root 24 minus 7 root 150. All right, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to do each of these separately as 3 separate simplified problems, and then we'll see if we can combine their answers. So first up, we're just going to work on 54. Okay, so I'm going to think that 54 is 9 and 6, which would give me 3, 3, 3, and 2. So this is going to become 3 root 6. Okay, there's a pair of 3's. All right, next up, let's work on this one. So 24. Now there's lots of things I can do with 24, but I'm going to stick with 4 and 6. So that's going to be 2, 2, 2, and 3. That's a pair of 2's. So this is going to end up giving me 6 root 6. Okay. Then I'm going to go over here, and lots of things I can do with 150. I know 25 will go into it, which would be 25 times 6. And actually, I already know that this is going to be a pair of 5's. So this last one is going to give me 35 root 6. All right, I need to add and subtract, so I'm going to bring those down. So again, remember, it's a video, so you can pause, you can rewind me if you need to see or hear that again to follow along, or if I'm just going too fast and you need to pause to catch up. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see if I have common square roots. So I have 3 square roots of 6 plus 6 square roots of 6 minus 35 square roots of 6, so all those can be combined together. So 3 square roots of 6 plus 6 square roots of 6 would be 9 square roots of 6. And 9 square roots of 6 with negative 35 square roots of 6 is going to leave me with negative 26 root 6. So that is our answer. All right, last one. Okay, let's see. We'll make this one the most challenging. All right, so example 6. Here we go. I'm at the bottom of the page. All right, so let's do root 27 minus 3 root 45 minus square root 20 plus 2 root 48. All right, so again, we're going to do each of these individually. Nothing right now is a common radical, but I happen to know that I can simplify all of these. All right, so let's see. 27 would be 9 and 3. That would be a pair of 3's. So this is going to become 3 root 3. So I'm doing a little bit of a shortcut because I'm doing a lot of thinking in my head that I know 9 is going to break down to be a pair of 3's. All right, next up, 45. Well, this is kind of similar. I know that's 9 and 5. I know that's a pair of 3's. If I bring that outside, now I have 9 root 5. All right, moving on to 20. So I know I can break this down to be 4 times 5. That is a pair of 2's. So I bring that outside and we have 2 root 5. All right, next up is 48. Now this one I might need to do some thinking. You might know a fast way to get there, but if not, you're probably thinking 6 and 8. And I know 6 is going to be 2 and 3, and I know 8 is going to be 2, 2, and 2. So I have 2 pairs of 2's here. So if I have 2 pairs of 2, I bring those out with the 2 that's already there, that's going to give me 8 root 3. Okay, so just to kind of clarify, so those 2's come out as a 2, and those 2's come out as a 2, and then I multiply all those together to get the 8. So this one came out as a 2, that one came out as a 3, and that one came out as a 3. All right, so now I'm going to look and see if I have any common radicals, and I do. So these 2 are the same, and those 2 are the same. So remember, order is not important, so I'm just going to do the smaller one first. So if I had 3 square roots of 3, and I'm going to combine it with 8 square roots of 3, that's going to give me 11 roots 3. And then in here, if I have negative 9 square roots of 5 and combining it with negative 2 square root of 5, that's going to give me negative 11 root 5. And this is my answer because those 2 can't be combined together. So that's it. All right, so to summarize, you can only add and subtract like square roots. So just like in fractions, you have to have common denominator. In decimals, you have to have common decimals. So decimals have to line up. In radicals, you have to have like square roots or common radicals, however you want to say it. And then once you have the same square root, then you're really just adding or subtracting the coefficient. All right. Again, if you need to pause, if you need to replay, if I went too fast and you need to catch up, the video is not going anywhere, so do what you need to do, and when you feel ready, you can go ahead and start on the practice.